Well, we've used plants to make paper, and now we're going to use paper to make plants. It's the circle of life. Start out by doing a photo search of different plants to get an idea of what plant you want to use for your sculpture. Sketch 3 to 4 ideas of plants that you may want to use. Once you've decided which of your sketches you'd like to do, start with 2 squares of foam core, one that's 3 by 3 inches and the other that's 4 by 4 inches. On the 3-inch square, you'll draw an X from the opposite corner to mark the center. Cut a wire about a foot long and make a 90-degree bend about an inch from the bottom. Use the wire to poke a hole in the center of the X. Then take out the wire and cut into the bottom of the square at an angle to create a trench for the wire to sit in. Be careful not to go all the way through the foam core. Put the wire back through the hole and hot glue the short end into the trench to secure it. At this point, you'll center the 3-inch square onto the 4-inch square and hot glue that to create the base and secure the wire. Start to sketch out any pieces of paper that will cover your wire. Use an X-Acto knife to cut out any small details. You're going to need 2 pieces of matching paper to cover both sides of the wire for each piece that you use. We're going to start to determine where we need the wire for our sculpture. We'll use hot glue to glue the wire onto the paper, but make sure that you leave room for the main wire that connects to the base. When all the other wires have been added, shape them and bend them as needed, and then do the same for the main wire. After that, you'll glue the main wire from the base onto the paper. Add Elmer's glue to the paper with the wire, and use a piece of cardboard to smear it and cover the paper. Keep in mind that any glue that you get on the outside of the paper may be more difficult for the paint to adhere later. To add the second side of the paper, I decided to do one side at a time because I was concerned that the glue from the second side would be dry before I had a chance to use it. Carefully try to match up the 2 sides as much as possible. Use a piece of cardboard and your fingernails to model the paper tight to the wire so that the form of the wire can be seen through the paper. Once the 2 sides have been joined together, further cut any areas that don't match up to force them to match. Again, you may need an X-Acto knife to get any detailed areas. We're going to use watercolor to paint our plant. Try to keep in mind where the shadows and the highlights are. Take a second to look at reference photos of your plant. I actually had to paint mine a couple of times because I didn't bother to do this and didn't put the highlights where they were supposed to go initially. Here's how mine turned out. Check out another plant or leaf to try it for yourself. Have fun!